Hey, what's up guys? So welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to do a walk around on my Autopilot 136. If you guys have been watching lately, I've been posting a lot of content. I just got back from iCast. That was awesome. If you guys haven't checked that video out, make sure you guys go and check that one out because there's a couple of new items coming out to the market you guys might be interested in, and honestly it was just a great time and I documented it, so check that out. Alright, so this walk around video, I'm going to go ahead and start from the front and work my way to the rear. This rope comes with a power pole micro anchor. It gets tethered to this spike. I use it to pretty much dock my kayak on the docks. I use it to drag my kayak through vegetation. I pretty much use this for everything. I mean, I even when I put my kayak on the trailer, I'll use this just to get it all the way up to the front of the trailer while it's sitting on the bunks. Next up, I want to go ahead and talk about this right here. This thing right here is a light that I use. It's a nav light. It's by Guardian Angel. So if you can see, I have green and red. Those are the nav lights that are required. Those are the colors that are required for when you're on the water, especially if you're competing. A lot of tournaments require you to have that. So they're very bright. They come in different settings for brightness. So this is like the lowest setting here, and that's the brightest. So very bright. They last long. They blink. And I know this Guardian Angel company has different lights. They have blue, they have green, yellow, red, white. They just have a bunch of colors, so that's pretty cool. All right, the next up I want to talk about is this right here. When you buy an Autopilot 136, it comes with a Minn Kota trolling motor. This thing is awesome. I've never had a problem with it. I've had actually two Autopilot 136s. For those of you who've been following for a long time, you guys will know I had the orange one, and I also have this blue one. Yeah, it's awesome. Comes with a remote. The remote has an LCD screen, which I'll get to that in a minute. The power cable gets connected to here. You can see easily goes in, easily goes out. It also has a cover to protect the port, which is very important, especially with like going through vegetation. You might have a lot of debris that goes in there or whatnot if you didn't have that port. And then that port also secures the cable from coming out. So you see I'm pulling on this real tight or real hard, and yeah, it's not coming out because of the lid has a nipple, and then that nipple sits right in there. So that's another indicator on how to put your power cable in there, so if you guys were wondering. And that's pretty much it. It has spot lock capability. The thrust is pretty good. I've gone through some thick hydrilla, and man, it's gotten me through a lot. Next thing I want to talk about is this Guardian Angel light. Now this one is a little bit different from the front, only because of the color, but nonetheless it's the same one. It's magnetic. I have it on my captain's bridge. I use this one for lights, for interior lighting. Yeah, so at night when it's really dark, it's really nice to have this bright light in here. So if you drop something or if you're looking for something specific, you have this light that would literally light up the entire interior of your hull, of your kayak. So I use that. Perfect. It also has different settings. It has, it flickers. It has different settings as far as brightness as well, so that's pretty cool. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is this cup holder here. So Yak Attack came out with this cup holder for you to put your beverages and stuff like that. I typically don't use it because I have the kayak that comes with cup holders itself. So I use this for tools. I have my tool on here. I have a radio for when I go with my buddies and we get lost, or maybe we just have an emergency. I've had friends flip over their kayaks and they've actually radioed it up, and we've all gone to help out whoever flipped over and stuff like that. So that's actually a really good tool to have on your kayak, especially when you're going on big groups. I keep my pliers in here. I typically put, for those of you guys who follow me, you guys will know, I put my Glock in here because I live in Florida, and in Florida we have a lot of gators. You just never know. So all right, so the next thing I want to go ahead and talk about are these graphs right here. I'm running two Explore 10s by Humminbird. I'm going to be honest, these Humminbird graphs are amazing. Very easy to use, very easy, user-friendly. Buttons are great. They got touch screen. They come with already the maps inside, so you don't have to order one of those Lake Master charts. Cards that go inside these. I mean, you can order other cards, but like I said, these already come with the cards already programmed inside. So very awesome tool. Helps me locate fish. Now some of you guys may ask, why do you have two graphs? I get that question quite a bit, mainly from people who are just now getting into the sport or don't really know too much about it and they don't fish. So quick rundown, I made a video on it not too long ago. I basically run down imaging, south imaging, and 2D down imaging on this one. Here I run my maps. Eventually I'm going to be running all of this in one, and then I'll be running my Mega Live 2 on this one. So having two gives me the ability to run more than one option instead of just having one screen and then being able to only run certain things and have to toggle between those options. So that's one thing. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this piece of gear here. Now this is a catch board. I had this one customized. As you can see, it says Brass to Bass there. It has KBF, Kayak Bass Fishing. That was the very first tournament I ever fished. And then Brass to Bass as well there. So this catch board allows you not only to measure your fish, but if you're going to be fishing any tournament leagues, they require you to have an approved board. Catch is one of them that are approved in the league that I fish. This is going to be your identifier card where you put your code. You put the code there so that way the day prior that they drop the code, you put it there. The next day you go fish, they can verify that that fish wasn't caught on another day. So that's pretty cool that they do that. For those of you guys who are not familiarized with tournament fishing, that's for that. Moving along. All right, so the next thing I want to go ahead and talk about is this feature right here. So this is a power pole remote. I typically have two. I have one here and I have one around my neck. I use this if I'm sitting down. The one on my neck, I use it when I'm standing up, and it basically powers my power pole. So that's the stake right there. I'll get back there in a minute and show you guys how I have all that set up, but just to show you how this operates, this is obviously the down feature. As you can see, it's going down. So every time you click it once, it goes down, and then there, just hit the ground. If I hit it twice, if I hit up twice, it goes up all the way. Likewise, if I go ahead and hit down twice, it goes down all the way. So that's a pretty cool feature. Next thing I want to go ahead and talk about is this right here, is a phone tether. This one's catered to my phone specifically. See how it has a camera cutout? That's for when I'm taking pictures of the bass and uploading into the app to log my fishing for tournaments. I've actually dropped my phone in the water before, and thankfully I've had this on prior to that, so it saved my phone. It saved me a lot of money. This is going to be a Kayak cushion. Guys at Kayak Cushion went ahead and customized this. They can pretty much do any logo, any design, any words you guys want. This one specifically is the Florida Kayak Bass Trail. This is the club that I fish for. Awesome set of guys that put that together. And I put this on for the season for Florida Kayak Bass Trail. So that's kind of like a pretty cool reminder of what I'm chasing, is to compete with those guys that are really good at fishing, and then obviously just try to cash a check and win a trophy. So that's that. I'm going to go ahead and show you the batteries now. So I run, for my trolling motor, it's a Dakota Lithium 12 volt 100 amp hour. This thing lasts me a solid 2 days of fishing, and I'm talking like I make long runs. Awesome battery, very lightweight, charges pretty fast. Like I said, it lasts a long time. That's pretty much all I use is Dakota Lithium. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what I run for my graphs now. Keep my graph batteries in here. So I run two 12 volt 25 amp hours. So this one right here is gonna be for my graph on my left, and then this one's gonna be for the graph on the right. Again, 12 volt 25 amp hour Dakota Lithium. That will power my graphs up all day long, 2 days straight if I needed to. Very good. I have them connected to each other so that way both graphs, well, I don't have the batteries connected to each other, but if you notice that this is unplugged for now because I plug it in before I go out, but this is the fuse connected to my Ethernet switch that allows both my graphs to talk, and I have that connected to one of my batteries, is what I was trying to say. So I'll go ahead and show you that. I guess I should have showed you guys that when I was up here, but it's probably going to be very hard for you guys to see, but it's in there. It's in there. It's an Ethernet switch from Humminbird. Very cool tool to have, and allows, like I said, for both graphs to talk. So basically what that means, for those of you guys who don't know, if I'm here on my maps and I go ahead and drop like a waypoint on like a point that I want to go fish or a ledge, or if I'm on this side and I see something on down imaging or on side scan, I drop a waypoint, it's gonna talk. So if I drop it here, it's gonna show here. If I drop it here, it's gonna show here likewise. So vice versa. So that's a pretty cool thing to have installed into your kayak. That way both graphs are on the same page. Moving along. Obviously I have a cooler. That's where I put my food and my drinks. I have this right here where I mount my GoPros and I go ahead and create content for you guys. Next thing I have is a Yak Attack Black Pack Pro. So this one has a short stack on it. If you buy it with just a black pack, it's pretty much stops right here and it has a lid. I opted out and got this right here. Makes a world of a difference. This is where I keep my soft plastics. So there's soft plastics in there because I actually just fished a tournament yesterday. So that's that. Lock it up. And then I have my PFD. So that's my PFD. So you see I have the power pole. This is usually the one I keep around my neck or around my waist, either or. This is my trolling motor remote, which I have 2. I'll explain that in a second. And then I just keep tackle and a bunch of other miscellaneous things in there. A scale, just in case I catch a big one. Got to be honest with the sizes and the weights. You can't lie about those. And then I obviously have my rod tubes. I have 4 on this side, 4 on the other, and 2 right here. Typically, when I'm pre-fishing, I'll bring a lot of rods because you never know what they want. Once I kind of dial in a pattern on what they want to eat, then I'll go ahead and bring a little less. Instead of 10, I bring 8 usually. And the last thing I'd like to go ahead and talk about is this micro power pole. It's a micro anchor power pole. And the last thing I'd like to go ahead and talk about is this power pole. It's a micro anchor power pole. Now, this is a wireless battery. You can also do a wire battery and connect it to an actual lithium battery of your choice, preferably Dakota Lithium if you ask me. But I go ahead and do the wireless. The less cables, the less running wires, the more simplicity I have in my life. It just makes a world of a difference for me. You go ahead and it has these 2 clips. You just press that, comes right off. You put them on and that's about it. Like I said, this is very simple. It lasts more than it probably should. I've used it for 2-3 days before I'm like, oh wait, I forgot to charge it, and I still have battery. One thing I like doing when I put my stake on, I make sure that once the stake is in there, I press these buttons and I go ahead and verify that my pole works, because it would pretty much kind of suck if you get in the water and then you go to use a remote and for some reason you didn't check your power pole prior to getting in the water. So yeah, then you're gonna have to either get off the water or have a buddy come from behind and mess with this, because obviously sitting up there, it's very hard to get back here. So I always make sure I function check this before I get on the water, and I've never had a problem with it. It's just something that I always like doing. This is a pretty cool feature. So I added this to the Malone trailer. It's basically boat ratchet straps. So I'll take this and I'll run it to that side, and I'll go ahead and keep my kayak secure. So that's actually a really cool feature. It does not come with the Malone trailers. Honestly, you don't need them because the Malone trailers come with its own straps. I like simplicity, so I figured installing that would take away a lot of the time of just packing up or getting on and off the water. So that to me makes a world of a difference when I'm just trying to pick up and go, or if I need to pick up my kayak, put it on the trailer and go launch from another ramp, because where I'm at, they're not biting, and where I want to go is too far to go on a kayak. So that makes a world of a difference when you try to get up and go. I think I pretty much covered everything, guys. If there's anything in here or anything on here that you would like to see, go ahead and shoot me a DM. I'll shoot more video on it. I'll talk about it. If you guys have anything specific that you guys would like to see, or specific questions on a certain item, I'll do another video on it, guys. So like, I honestly just want to create more content for you guys, especially for those who have not got into the sport yet or are thinking about getting into it. I remember when I first got my kayak, there wasn't a lot of videos, instructional videos or build videos that are out there that kind of gave me a good idea of what I wanted. So I had to buy different kayaks and explore on what I wanted to do. So yeah, I want to go ahead and help those guys who like I said, are just now getting into the sport. And there's something more important to me than growing the sport and having other people join. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the walk around. That's pretty much all I got, guys. That is pretty much all I got. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, drop a comment, share with some friends, and I'll see you guys in the next one.